Good evening, everybody. Nice spring evening here. All right. Well, the only excitement since we last met was last night. The Cincinnati Reds pitched a no-hitter against the Pirates, and the Pirates won 1-0. Okay. See if I've got everything I need here. All right, as we have seen, yeah, they said there's only been 6 situations like that where somebody's had a no-hitter pitched against them and they won the game. And I've got to check my Google because I thought back in 1958, Harvey Haddix of the Pittsburgh Pirates, I think he either pitched a no-hitter through either 12 or 14 innings and lost the game. I have to look it up. Okay. So as we saw, we still need to see a reversal signal and a close above the tee line, which we didn't see that today. They took the dial up, but this is why you always have to wait. Wait to see where they close. Same scenario. Over here on the NASDAQ. Had a potential bullish trading or reversal with a meeting line, bullish confirmation, but observe the obvious. Look what happened right at the T line. Not above the T line, not below the T line, right at the T line. So this pretty much tells us the probabilities are we're still in a downtrend. Yes, Bill, pretty much. So you have that same scenario here in the S&P 500, where if they open this lower, it's a pretty good confirmation that they haven't been able to turn this downtrend around just yet. Okay, let's take a gander here. The oil stocks are still acting well. Valero, you can see the J-hook pattern. And EOG, another one that's holding up well. Occidental, holding up well, and I haven't checked the biggies. ConocoPhillips Yep, same scenario. Kind of holding up. That's what I thought. Yeah, and they didn't put that up last night. So the sad part of that game, Andrew, was the fact that the Pirates couldn't score one run. And now I'm sitting here watching the Pirates. They are losing 8-0, and they still only have 2 outs in the first. Oh, man. I'm pretty sure that was probably about 1958. All right. Okay, I'm getting off track here. Okay, think. All right, so these are the strong signals. When you see a signal followed by a gap up. Now, Veru obviously had a lot of things going for it. Piercing signal off the 200. Gap up. Positive trading today. Would still anticipate this wave here is going to be the same as this wave here. Oh, Drano, growing up in Pittsburgh, you always remember those things. All right, so here's one that didn't execute today, but is still on the watch list. There's your bullish flutter kicker signal. And CPNG didn't execute, but it doesn't mean it's out of the picture. If it comes back up through today's high tomorrow, you want to be buying it. Because this is what you kind of anticipate coming out of a bullish flutter kicker signal. The strong price move. ASRT backed off today, but there was kind of your double flutter kicker signal. Another one that if you're long, you probably want to stay long as it stays above the 50. And if you want to buy it, if it comes back up through today's open. You can be buying it aggressively. App was another good strong signal with that inverted hammer. Gravestone Doji, gap up. Then it did a pullback. I closed this one out today with the expectation that it's going to come back and test the T-line. But because of this factor, definitely want to watch to see if there's a J-hook pattern going to set up. Now on the short side, you had things like this where if you were short and it popped up, notice the other day this was not a signal. Didn't close halfway up that candle, which is very relevant because that means it's not a signal, which also implies if it hits a resistance level, there's probably going to be less likely there's going to be any strong bullish force. So you want to stay short on Expo. Newmont Mining hasn't shown any strength yet, especially after that bearish kicker signal that broke through this support area. So essentially you have wave one. I guess I can make this smaller. Wave one, wave two, bearish kicker signal going into wave three. where do you think the next likely target's going to be? Right down here at the 200. And Carvana. So this one had a bullish engulfing signal. It didn't confirm Friday. Then it opened positive today, but then notice what it did. It came back and closed below the T-line. So this one, even though this has gone from 375 down here into the 37 area, if this opens lower tomorrow, figure a bearish J-hook pattern. Can it go any lower? The logic says, or at least seeing why it's trading off so much, is, again, initially I thought maybe their business model was not very good, but I guess in their latest announcement they said that they've asked their higher executives to give up their salaries to the end of the year. That's definitely not a good outlook for a company when you're having to give up your salary. So look for a bearish J-hook pattern on this one. And EBS, another one that didn't show any real strength, stay short. PayPal. Having a hard time. Even though it had a Morningstar signal, it didn't confirm, and it's still trading below the T-line. So even though we had a bounce on Friday in the markets, we don't have that final confirmation that the bulls have taken control. Yeah, they let off 2,500 people, which was that 12% of their workforce. But if they're letting people go, they're asking their top executives to give up their salary going into the end of the year. That sounds like a company that's got a little bit of problems. Yeah, I would think, yeah, I had some puts on Carvana. I closed them today when it opened positive and traded positive because that was a bullish flutter kicker signal. But then when it came back down and closed back below the T-line, repurchased those puts, and I've held on to some spreads. All right, the biggies. Apple, just nothing there, still in a downtrend. Amazon, couldn't get up through the T-line. Netflix, got up through the T-line, but closed back at the lower end of the range. Be important to see how this one opens tomorrow. And NVIDIA, Morningstar signal, made for a very easy entry strategy. You need to see this open positive and trade positive. The strength wasn't there today. And Tesla, still in a downtrend. Kind of a bearish J-hook setup. So the oils were acting well. Things like BPT, there's your big fry pan bottom. And you've got some of the tankers working well. TNK, STNG, J-hook pattern. Golden, breakout through this level. And MARPs can be bought on positive trading tomorrow. So here's an interesting one that has good prospects. Mullen, after closing out way up here, I say way up here, $2.75. But notice the pattern right now. There's your little scoop pattern setting up after a doji sandwich, which means you definitely can be buying this one on positive trading with the expectation of a scoop pattern setup. Oh man. Well, I'm ROIV will not come up over here, but take a look at that one because that's got the McMuffin set up. Wait a minute, something's going on here. Huh. All right. There's your Morningstar signal right smack dab off the 200 up through the T line. Look for more upside. This is LQDA. Well, well, well. I was going to show an inverted hammer on OLPK. I don't know why both of those didn't come up. There was an inverted hammer on, wow, geez, my memory used to. There's your slow curve breakout. Look for a 45 degree off of GFF. DWAC. Double bottom. Kind of an inverted hammer. Not quite, though. But I wouldn't be afraid to be buying this one on positive trading tomorrow. And there's your doji gap up. Bullish confirmation. On ACET, I would suspect this one is heading for the 50-day moving average. Maybe that's it. OLPX. Whoops. OLPX. Ah, there it is. Okay, thank you, Bob. Handwriting is bad. Shouldn't be drinking as much when I'm writing these lists down. So there's your inverted hammer. There's your expected next target is the 50-day moving average. There's your doji sandwich. Where do most people sell? They panic sell at the bottom. That was the doji gap down. Then bullish confirmation. Wouldn't be afraid to be buying this one. Even coming back up to this level is going to be about a 35% upside. So these aren't in any order, but it is showing you that there are signals out there, kind of a scoopish doji sandwich on DCPH. Wouldn't be afraid to be buying this one. PANL, kind of your doji gap up, your kind of a kicker type reversal. This one I wouldn't be afraid to be buying on positive trading. LEU. This one I wouldn't be afraid to buy in positive trading with your Morningstar signal bullish confirmation, probably bringing you back up into this range. And what was that? That was LU. AR. Bouncing, Doji's bouncing off the 50. I would suspect that's coming back up to the top of the channel. So these are just kind of representative. There's bunches of these that still need confirmation of closing up above the T-line. There's a lot of short positions. There's your bearish J-hook pattern on EXPE. This one, you definitely want to be looking at buying some puts on weakness tomorrow. Winnebago. There's your double doji that broke this level. Whoops. I would suspect there's a lot more downside to this one. GameStop. There's your bearish J-hook pattern setup. If you like playing this one, I'd be shorting this one on weakness tomorrow with the anticipation of at least coming back to test this level, which is this level. And if it broke there, you've still got a lot of downside. Again, this will be a function of seeing how the markets open tomorrow. Same scenario on Lovesac. If this opens lower tomorrow, bearish J-hook pattern, wave 1, wave 3 in progress. Oops, just not a good bullish chart at all. Let's see, RVLV. Same scenario. This stock's gone from 70 to 29 and looks like doing a little bearish J-hook. Obviously, they're not buying this one at all. And XP failed. Now it's really failed. Another bearish J-hook pattern. So, and just nothing there. And they're still selling it. So as long as these indexes continue to trade below the T-line, let's see where they're trading. Now they're trading up a little bit after hours. The Dow up 77. But nothing yet. If they have a strong day tomorrow, this shows the YM, the Dow futures, would be forming a doji sandwich. If they trade lower, pretty much telling you they failed at the T-line, they're still heading lower. Okay, so that's going to be the important analysis tomorrow, is how do they open the markets. Oh, while we're here, whoops, this is wheat. Wheat was up the limit. Usually wheat trades up or down 3, 5, 7, 8 cents. Today it was up 70 cents, and then it's up another 20. That's actually probably dollars after hours. All right, so your strong sector is still over here in the oils. So that's one sector that if you want to be long in this market, that's where you want to be. Crude oil, as you can see, is still holding up, trading at 111, almost $112 a barrel. Okay. So I guess with that, is there any general questions on candlesticks? As you can see, there's a lot of stocks that we're in a downtrend that haven't been able to reverse yet. The E-line is pretty much telling you that's the case. Do the weekly 250 SMA, monthly 200? Not really. Depends if you're how. Oh, that was Jimmy asking about the weekly 50 and 200 and the monthly 50 and 200. Nah, that's basically it depends on what your time frame. If you're a longer term holder, yeah, you might use a weekly or monthly. But if you're a swing trader, probably want to stick with the daily. I don't think. No, Apache was trying to come back up. Kathy, a piercing signal, as we saw in Beru, is one of the 12 major signals. So one of your basis or your basic analysis is, do you see a candlestick signal? That's the bread and butter of candlestick analysis. And everything else just kind of you put everything else now into your analysis of, is it a piercing signal? Is it off a support level? Is it in the oversold area? Is it confirmed? So piercing signal is a signal that opens below any of the previous day's trading and then closes more than halfway up the previous candle. And that halfway point is very important. If it doesn't close above the halfway point, you've got to be a lot more skeptical. What kind of option spreads makes for weak stocks going down? Magic, I don't know what that means. The option spreads do not make for weak stocks going down. See if you can rephrase that. Okay, I guess that's it. Jim, go ahead and do the double line. How to use option trades. If you've got a stock that's already traded down big, you're in the oversold area, where you might have been buying puts right here on the bearish doji sandwich, because it looked like you still had a lot more downside. Now you're well in the oversold area. It might have more downside, but instead of buying puts, you buy a put spread, meaning you're buying one set of puts and you're selling another set of puts and putting that money in your pocket, so the net is a lot smaller. We'll do a spread night again soon. That was the stock I was trying to remember, Roblox. I closed this one out today because I had calls, but there's your inverted hammer. Came up, hit the 34, so my suspicion would be if they open the market weaker, they're going to at least come back and test the 50. So, I'm sorry, the T-line. So if you've stayed long, you definitely want to see this open positive tomorrow, which means you pretty much want to see how the market's open. Twitter. There's your wedge formation. And we were talking about this in the room earlier during the week. Somebody was asking if they should put some sort of strategy. But right in here, if their upside potential is right here, that didn't make for a very good risk reward. So there's some charts that you have to just look at and say, this one's not going to work. If you happen to be short when it broke down through this wedge, I would just stay short. Nothing wrong with that scenario. D-Dog put. You could. I probably wouldn't buy puts on this until it comes down through this level, which isn't that far away. Whoops. Electronic Arts, stay long. There's your hammer kicker type signal. You can stay long on this one. Ride, if this opens lower tomorrow, I'd close it out. Telling you pretty much they failed at the 50. Added a little inverted hammer, but it hit a target, and now you can see what happened after they hit that target. So yes, I would close this out on weakness tomorrow. Ball, there's your doji sandwich after an inverted hammer. That one I wouldn't be afraid to be buying. Now it's not going to be very exciting. It also fits into the category of being an institutional trader. But that would be a good one to put a spread on. Maybe buy in a June 75, selling the 80s. IBM, nothing wildly exciting until they break this downtrend. So there's your inverted hammer, bullish Harami, right smack dab off the 50. Now, why is that relevant? Because that's just visual confirmation of the candlesticks charts showing us what everybody's decisions were right at that level. So now you got an inverted hammer, doji sandwich. You could still be a buyer if it comes up through this level. Colgate-Palmolive, another one you can stay long. It's just not going to make you a whole heck of a lot of money. Another institutional trader. So something like this with the first target being the fill in the gap, maybe you do a spread on this one. And PRAX, fry pan bottom, big move, profit taking. Now if this opens positive tomorrow and starts trading positive, you can buy it because that means the profit taking's over, your fry pan bottom is still working. And then you just put a stop at today's open. It should be going in this direction. Guess, get ready for a bearish J-hook pattern. If it opens lower tomorrow. AMC, get ready for a bearish J-hook pattern. Having a hard time getting up through the T-line. Neti could be a breakout. Don't know what the volume is, but you could be buying this one on positive trading with a good indication they're breaking out through this level. EB, another one that has to open positive and trade positive to stay in it. If it opens lower, It's coming back to test the T-line, which means now you're still stuck in this downtrend. EQRX, you could buy this one. Make sure your volume is good. Matador, needs to stay above the T-line. CPE needs to stay above the T-line. Whoops. HPQ, nothing great there. You're sideways. If you like it, you can be buying it. You just have to watch to see what happens and at this level. But again, an institutional trader is not going to make you a whole lot of money. DraftKings, another one you could be buying, but it has to get through this downtrend. Mullen, we did. Mullen, you could be buying this one on positive trading tomorrow because of the scoop. Coming out of a doji sandwich. And Dust failed here at the at the 200 with a bearish Harami. Look for it to come back and probably test the T-line. ZIV. Kenneth, I'm betting that's a lap. Zim. You can get ready to buy this one on a positive open tomorrow. Starbulk. Nothing greatly exciting. Out of the tankers, I would probably go with something more that has a stronger chart to it, like tank. Joby, stay long. I think we did DWAC. DWAC, you can be buying this one on positive trading. Oh boy, I don't know whether I can get the, will they come up over here? ZBM22. Now, what is that? The June bonds. This is the 20-year note. Just kind of pretty flat. Jay, yeah, that's why when somebody said, can we do an arbitrage? When you don't know which way it's going to go, when it's a story stock, then you're just kind of speculating. You don't have a lot to hang your hat on. Got a little scoop type pattern on KOXE, another energy company that can be bought. Yeah, you'd call it a scoop, and you could call it a cradle. AIRG, just stay long. Figure your first target's the 200. AUPH, still a nothing chart. An APT, what happened here? Oops, APT. JB, JB, JB. JB, JB. That's a most nothing chart of the night. You get the nothing chart award for the night. I wouldn't have anything in that one. This one you can get ready to buy. Definitely if you'd been short, you would have covered the short on Friday, but you wouldn't be going long until they can get this one up through the T-line. Is overweighting energy stocks in the swing trade portfolio all right? Yes. Yes, so if I'm overweighting something, meaning if I have a portfolio of 10 positions and I think one or two sectors are stronger than the rest of them, I might have 3 energy stocks, maybe 2 tankers, and then the other positions either longs or shorts. But obviously I'm watching that sector with a little bit more attentiveness. SBSW, nothing yet. You can see it opened and closed lower than where it opened. So nothing here yet. I wouldn't be short, but I wouldn't be long. Overstock, you can see the evening star type signal, failure at the T-line, stay short. And GLBE, another one that may have covered the short position, but now looks like it's going back into a potential bearish doji sandwich. Spreads, no preds. You told me spreads are not appropriate for stocks going down. Then you said you use put spreads for stocks going down. I'm confused. Magic, I don't know what I said. You told me spreads are not appropriate for stocks going down. Then you said to use put spreads for stocks going down. I don't know whether I don't know why I would have said you wouldn't use bearish spreads or put spreads in a stock going down. I would put spreads on stocks that have already gone down a good percentage. So there's your J-hook type pattern. You stay long on this one. That's on you. Marshall. No, that's not coming up. Could I redo SBSW? You shouldn't be short. You could be going long on positive trading. It needs to start trading above the T-line. This is on BSW. App pulled back after the Best Friend, Inverted Hammer, Gravestone Doji. It's probably coming back to test the T-line. Starbucks. Or did I miss that one? I would stay short on this one, or if you covered the short on Friday, you can get ready to re-short it to weakness. Again, that would be a function of the market overall. Well, I don't know what's going on there. Let's take a gander over here. Oh, pshaw. That's your doji sandwich. That's a good chart. Okay, so right now, the market's up 58 points. Still having a hard time, even with the futures getting up through the T-line. So keep a watch. It'll be important to see where they open the markets tomorrow. Either they're going to do a doji sandwich, McMuffin, or if they open it lower, the downtrend is still in progress, or doing a little bearish J-hook pattern. Okay, I guess with that, everybody have a good evening. We will see you bright and early in the morning tomorrow. We'll see you then.